Good morning. Let's get our morning routine ready and talk a little bit more about Josiah because you guys have had some genuine questions and I'm going to try to answer them for you. A lot of people ask me about his life expectancy. Oh, hi, good morning. He does, children with his syndrome, which is cough and siren syndrome, they tend to live a very long life. There's no life expectancy, anything like that. Now, a lot of these children have problems with their lungs and their airway. So, like I said before, Josiah gets sick because of his airway. It could be very, very bad for him. So that's why the doctor always tells me every common cold is very dangerous for Josiah because it could literally. He's having a long night too with his acid reflux. It has honestly been horrible. A lot of people ask me if he'll ever be able to feed by mouth. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. A lot of people will ask me if the G tube will come out. No, it will stay in for supplement even if he does feed by mouth because he doesn't tend to get hungry. That's another symptom of these children that have this syndrome. Also, this syndrome affects their eyes. It affects their hearing. So a lot of them tend to have hearing aids and glasses by a certain age. I have noticed some type of problem with Josiah's eyesight. Sometimes when he's watching his TV, he kind of squints a lot. He might always be nonverbal. It's just another thing with these children and this syndrome. Another question that I do get is, will he walk, sit, and eat? The question is yes, he just needs a lot of intensive therapy to get him there. The eating, he should be able to start, but the G-tube, like I said, always has to stay in for supplement because he doesn't feel hunger at all. A lot of the children with this syndrome also develop epilepsy and they have seizures, and that's the one I'm scared about the most because it could literally happen between 5 or 6, and a lot of them already are on medication and stuff like that. My biggest fear is that I'm going to catch Josiah having a seizure and I'm literally going to have a heart attack. But also me and my husband are CPR trained just in case something was to happen to him. But still, that's one of the scariest things I'm literally terrified of. The questions that people love to ask me was, how did I feel when I found out Josiah had a very rare genetic syndrome? And to answer that question, I was upset. I cried. It hit me hard. But I couldn't dwell in it and I couldn't be in denial that there was something serious with my child and that my child did have a rare genetic syndrome and that my child was special and he was going to need extra help all the time. I cried the first day and then I got up and I did my research and I started connecting with mothers where I could and texting other moms. I started writing down in a notebook everything that I saw different with Josiah. I knew when I had Josiah and they placed him on my chest, something was wrong. So even though getting his diagnosis was really hard at 4.5 months, it was also a breath of fresh air because I finally knew that I wasn't crazy and I finally knew that even with us getting this diagnosis, we were going to be able to help him no matter how hard it hit us and how hard it was to take that news in. Josiah has taught me a lot about strength. I think he's stronger than I am, stronger than I've ever been. And no matter how many times people talk about him and say so many mean things to him, at the end of the day, he's the perfect boy. And I think God gave him to me because he knew I needed him. At the end of the day, he knew me and my husband needed him and he needed us. And he's here and he's amazing and he's perfect. And I love when you guys ask about him, ask about his syndrome and want to know what's going on. And I also love advocating for him and that's never going to stop. I'm so winded, but I gotta wash my sheets because I was eating last night and I spilled something. If you guys have any more questions about him, just let me know. I'll try to make another video or respond in the comments. Also, we pulled out the school uniforms.